The human touch. Zoe Reeves wiped sweat from her brow as she emerged from the cramped access tunnel of the human freighter. The Meridian Repair Station hung in Earth's orbit like a massive mechanical starfish, its 5 massive docking arms extending outward to cradle damaged vessels from across human space. "How bad is it, Chief?" asked her second-in-command, Dr. Alejandro Vega, scrolling through diagnostics on his tablet. "Nothing we haven't seen before," Zoe replied, pocketing her multi-tool. "Standard drive misalignment. They pushed her too hard through that asteroid belt shortcut." The station's alert system chimed, and Operations Manager Priya Sharma's voice came over the comm. "Chief Reeves to Bay 5, priority signal. We've got an unusual arrival requesting emergency docking." Unusual was an understatement. As Zoe entered Bay 5's control room, she saw it through the viewport, a ship unlike any she'd encountered. Its hull seemed to shift between solid matter and translucent energy, pulsing with colors that shouldn't exist in normal space. "It's Valkyrie," Priya said, voice barely above a whisper. "First time they've ever approached a human station." The Valkyrie were legends among spacefaring species, ancient, mysterious, and notoriously isolationist. Humanity had only confirmed their existence 3 years prior, and diplomatic relations remained tentative at best. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies," Priya continued. "Universal Translator is struggling, but they're clearly in distress." Zoe straightened her station uniform. "Open a channel." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a tall, willowy being with luminescent skin that rippled like the surface of water. 4 glowing eyes arranged in a diamond pattern regarded her with what she hoped was curiosity rather than hostility. "This is Chief Engineer Zoe Reeves of Meridian Repair Station. We're receiving your distress call. How can we assist?" The Valkyrie tilted its head. When it spoke, its voice resonated strangely, as if coming from multiple sources simultaneously. "Our vessel suffers discontinuity. 3 repair facilities of advanced species have failed to restore function. Your station's growing reputation reached us. We seek human perspective." The control room fell silent. Everyone knew what this meant. In the scant decades since humanity had joined the galactic community, they had developed an unexpected reputation. Human repair stations were increasingly sought out for impossible problems that baffled more established species. "We'll need to examine your ship," Zoe said, "with your permission." The Valkyrie vessel was guided into the station's largest bay, its crystalline structure pulsing with unstable energy. As Zoe led her engineering team toward it, she couldn't help but feel a flash of imposter syndrome. The Valkyrie had been traversing the stars when humans were still figuring out agriculture. A small delegation of 3 Valkyrie met them at the vessel's entrance port. The tallest, who introduced itself as Observer Nemeth, regarded them with those unsettling glowing eyes. 6 hegemony engineers said repair impossible, it stated. 4 Cerebrum technicians declared system beyond recovery. 2 Thralcon specialists suggested decommissioning. "Well," Zoe replied with a confident smile that masked her apprehension, "we haven't taken a look yet." The ship's propulsion system defied conventional physics. Components seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously, and the diagnostic equipment kept returning contradictory readings. After 6 hours, Zoe's team gathered in a huddle, exhausted and frustrated. "I don't understand how this even works," muttered Alejandro, rubbing his temples. "The power flows in impossible patterns." Technician Maya Zhang tapped her fingers rhythmically against her tablet. What if we're thinking about this all wrong? Maybe we're too focused on what the system should be versus what it's trying to do." Zoe looked at her junior engineer with newfound interest. "Go on." "Well, it's like when my grandmother taught me to cook. She never measured anything exactly. She'd say, 'Cook until it looks right.' What if the Valkyrie system works on intuition rather than precision?" Something clicked in Zoe's mind. She walked back to the primary drive chamber, staring at the pulsing core with fresh eyes. The Valkyrie engineers observed silently as she ran her hand just above the surface of the material. feeling its rhythm. "It's not broken," she finally said. "It's desynchronized, like musicians playing the same song at slightly different tempos." Observer Nemeth's skin rippled with what might have been surprise. "Explain." "Your drive doesn't operate on fixed parameters like our systems. It's adaptive, responsive. But something traumatized it. A spatial anomaly. Maybe. And now different segments are responding at different rates." For the next 3 days, Zoe's team worked tirelessly, applying solutions that defied conventional engineering. They didn't try to force the system back to factory specifications. Instead, they developed resonance tools that guided the components back into harmony with one another, allowing the system to find its own equilibrium. When the drive finally stabilized, thrumming with a deep, harmonious note that seemed to vibrate at a cellular level, Observer Nemeth approached Zoe. 12 species we have encountered who possess faster-than-light capability. None approached the problem as you did." The Valkyrie's tone shifted to something like wonderment. "You did not attempt to impose order. You listened to the chaos and found the pattern within. Sometimes you have to step back from the instruction manual," Zoe replied with a humble shrug. "Humans have been fixing things that shouldn't work for our entire history." As the Valkyrie prepared to depart, Observer Nemeth presented Zoe with a small crystalline object. "A beacon," it explained. "Others will come." The word spreads among the stars. If none can repair, seek the humans. They see what others cannot. Zoe held the crystal, feeling its subtle warmth. "We'll be here." The Valkyrie vessel departed in a graceful dance of light and energy, its systems now in perfect harmony. Priya approached Zoe at the viewport, watching it disappear into the darkness. "You realize what this means?" she asked quietly. Zoe nodded, still staring at the stars. "Everything changes now." Within weeks, the first new arrivals appeared. Vessels of designs never before seen at human stations, their captains requesting the human perspective on problems that had defied conventional solutions. The age of human repair had begun. The Universal Mechanics. 6 months after the Valkyrie encounter, Meridian Station had transformed. 2 new docking arms had been hastily constructed to accommodate the constant stream of alien vessels seeking human expertise. The station's crew had doubled, with specialist engineers recruited from across Earth and its colonies. "Incoming transmission from the Self-Hive Mind," announced Communications Officer Eli Jordan as Zoe entered the expanded control center. 5th time this month. "Another impossible repair?" Zoe asked, settling into her chair and brushing back her now shorter hair, cut for practicality after one too many crawls through alien engine compartments. "They say their quantum navigation matrix is experiencing," I'm quoting here, "uncomfortable dreams." Zoe suppressed a smile. The translation software still struggled with certain concepts. "Schedule them for next week. Prioritize the Jixari medical transport. They're carrying time-sensitive biological samples." The comm station chimed again. Eli's expression shifted to concern. "Chief, we're receiving a direct communication from Dravik High Command. Priority Alpha." The room fell silent. The Dravik Empire controlled nearly 30 star systems and possessed one of the largest military fleets in known space. Unlike many species, they had never sought human assistance, proudly maintaining their self-sufficiency. Their technology was advanced, but like many older spacefaring races, innovation had stagnated centuries ago. "Put them through," Zoe said, straightening in her chair. The main display activated, revealing a broad-shouldered reptilian figure in elaborate armor. Admiral Kivex of the Dravik Imperial Fleet was known by reputation, a traditionalist who had publicly dismissed humanity as undisciplined primates playing with borrowed technology. "Station Commander Reeves," the Admiral began, mandibles clicking with barely contained irritation. "A situation has developed that requires specialized attention." Alejandro, now Zoe's chief of operations, raised an eyebrow. Everyone in the control room knew what this cost the proud Dravik. "We're always happy to assist, Admiral," Zoe replied diplomatically. What seems to be the problem? Our flagship, the Eternal Dominion, has experienced a catastrophic failure in its primary propulsion system following an engagement with hostile forces. Our engineering corps has been unable to restore functionality. The vessel is stranded in neutral territory, vulnerable to enemy action. Translation: the Dravik couldn't fix their own ship and were desperate enough to ask the upstart humans for help. We can dispatch a repair team immediately, Zoe said. We'll need full access to your systems and... Unacceptable. Kivex interrupted. Dravik military technology cannot be exposed to foreign personnel. You will send your chief engineer, you, Commander Reeves, and no more than 3 specialists. You will work under direct Dravik supervision and will access only the systems we designate. It was a formal communication from the Galactic Council, the loose confederation of elder species that maintained interstellar law. Numerous complaints have been filed against human repair operations, claiming they used unsafe, unconventional, and potentially reality-damaging methods that violated established engineering protocols. Attached was a list of 17 stations, including Meridian, that were being investigated. Below, a second message from Earth Central Command. Return immediately. Situation developing. Zoe stared at the stars streaking past the viewport. Their success was becoming a liability. The established powers of the galaxy weren't just surprised by human ingenuity. They were beginning to fear it. The adaptive edge. The hearing chamber of the Galactic Council station, Harmonious Exchange, was designed to intimidate. Curved walls rose 70 meters to a translucent dome that revealed the swirling colors of the nearby nebula. The delegates from 17 species sat in elevated tiers, looking down upon the human representatives standing on the central platform. Zoe, now bearing the title of Earth's chief engineering liaison, stood beside Ambassador Chen, acutely aware of the historical significance of this moment. 6 months had passed since the first complaints were filed, during which human repair stations have been placed under strict operational limitations. Elder Thrix of the Quantum Collective, a gaseous being contained within an ornate mechanical body, addressed the chamber in resonant tones. We convene to address concerns regarding human repair methodologies. Evidence suggests a pattern of disregard for established safety protocols, improvisation of unverified solutions, and introduction of non-standard modifications to critical systems. Ambassador Chen spoke with practiced diplomatic calm. The Galactic Council's engineering standards were established by species whose technological development followed similar patterns. Humanity's different evolutionary path and historical circumstances have led to alternative approaches that, while unconventional, have proven effective and safe. Effective, perhaps, countered the hegemony representative, a crystalline entity that refracted light in complex patterns. But safety cannot be evaluated in the short term. The long-term consequences of human innovations cannot be predicted or controlled. The debate continued for hours, with testimony from various species whose vessels had been repaired by humans. Most spoke favorably of the results, but the elder species remained skeptical, questioning the fundamentals of human engineering philosophy. Finally, Elder Thrix raised a manipulator appendage for silence. We propose a practical demonstration. The Council has prepared a challenge, a damaged vessel with multiple critical systems failures. Representatives from the top engineering traditions will attempt repairs under observation. This will allow objective assessment of different methodologies. The challenge vessel was revealed in a massive docking bay, an ancient precursor ship excavated from a distant moon. Its systems a mystery even to the elder races. Teams from 8 traditions were assigned to different sections, each tasked with restoring function to incomprehensible technology. Zoe led the human team. Maya, Tariq, Nico, and 2 new specialists recruited from other human stations. Their assigned section contained what appeared to be an energy distribution system, though its principles defied conventional understanding. "They've set us up to fail," Tariq muttered, examining the alien components. Nobody has successfully reverse-engineered precursor technology. Then we don't try to understand it completely, Zoe replied. We just need to make it work. While the other teams methodically analyzed and cataloged components, attempting to deduce the underlying principles, the humans took a different approach. They introduced small energy pulses into different parts of the system, watching how the energy flowed, looking for patterns rather than trying to deconstruct the entire mechanism. It's like a watershed, Maya observed on the third day. Energy flows down paths of least resistance, but the paths reconfigure based on the type and volume of energy. Adaptive routing, Nico agreed. The system learns from usage patterns. Rather than trying to impose their understanding on the alien technology, they began working with its apparent tendencies, coaxing it toward functionality through iterative adjustments. They made mistakes, sometimes spectacular ones that attracted concerned attention from the council observers, but they learned from each failure. On the fifth day, the Synthetics Collective team, led by an advanced AI in a humanoid body, announced they had mapped 43% of their section's functionality and expected full comprehension within another 15 days. We don't have 15 days, Zoe told her team. We need results. Their breakthrough came when Maya noticed something unexpected. The system responded differently when they were frustrated versus when they were calm. Sensors confirmed minute energy fields emanating from their bodies affected the precursor technology. It's responsive to conscious intent, she realized. Not just our actions, but our thoughts and emotions. This revelation transformed their approach. Instead of treating the technology as a passive system to be manipulated, they began interacting with it as a semi-sentient entity, directing their intentions as they worked. The components began to align in new configurations, energy pathways stabilizing. On the seventh day, as the other teams continued their methodical analysis, the human section suddenly hummed to life. Lights flickered across previously dormant surfaces, and a holographic display materialized, showing what appeared to be system diagnostics in an incomprehensible script. The council chamber erupted in controversy. Some delegates accused the humans of secret knowledge or hidden technology. Others demanded immediate shutdown, fearing unknown consequences. Elder Thrix called for order. Explain yourselves, humans. How have you activated systems that have remained dormant for millennia? Zoe stepped forward. We stopped trying to make the technology conform to our understanding and instead adapted ourselves to its nature. The precursors designed systems that respond to consciousness itself, a concept most spacefaring races abandoned in favor of pure logic. The AI representative of the Synthetics Collective approached the human section, sensors analyzing the active systems. Our projections indicated 0.02% probability of activation without complete system comprehension. Your methodology defies rational analysis. That's precisely the point, Zoe replied. Throughout human history, we've faced challenges that required us to adapt rapidly. We evolved not as perfect logical processors, but as intuitive problem solvers. We make cognitive leaps. We work with incomplete information. We try things that shouldn't work, and sometimes they do. As the council debated, a new signal reached the station. Distress calls from a nearby sector where a spatial anomaly had suddenly appeared, threatening multiple worlds. The evacuation vessels were experiencing cascading systems failures similar to those in the challenge ship. Without waiting for permission, Zoe's team transferred their newly gained insights to practical applications, developing emergency protocols for the affected vessels. When the council questioned their authority to intervene, Ambassador Chen simply asked, "Would you rather be right, or would you rather save lives?" In the weeks that followed, as the crisis was resolved through the application of human engineering principles, the tone of the council shifted. A new classification was created for human repair methodology, adaptive engineering, and restrictions were lifted with certain monitoring requirements. As Zoe prepared to return to Meridian Station, now designated as the first adaptive engineering training center open to students from all species, Elder Thrix requested a private audience. "Your species concerns us still," the ancient being admitted. "You move quickly, change rapidly, think unpredictably. But perhaps the galaxy needs this perspective." "We don't claim to be better," Zoe replied. "Just different. There's room in the universe for many approaches to the same problems." "Indeed. Though I must ask, why do humans show such aptitude for repair specifically? Your species creates remarkable little, yet mends the creations of others with unparalleled skill." Zoe considered this. Maybe because throughout our history, we've never had the luxury of perfection. We've always had to make do with what we had, fix what was broken, adapt to changing circumstances. We understand imperfection intimately. And isn't repair just the art of embracing flaws and working with them rather than against them? As her shuttle departed for Earth, carrying representatives from 12 species who would begin training in human repair techniques, Zoe gazed out at the stars. Humanity had found its place in the cosmos, not as conquerors or even innovators, but as fixers, the species that could look at the broken pieces and see not what they were, but what they could become. In a universe of ancient civilizations with refined technologies and rigid traditions, humanity's greatest strength was the one quality they couldn't engineer out of themselves: the beautiful, frustrating, illogical imperfection that made them uniquely suited to mend a flawed and wondrous universe.